Good morning, Canada. Rise and shine. Great to have you with us. I'm David Menzies, the Menzoid, your fearless warrior of wit, fighting back against the tyranny of political correctness. That's what we're all about, and this is Menzoid Mornings. Well, we have another action-packed show for you this morning, folks, including Happy Dominion Day, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, July 1st is now called Canada Day, but just wait until you hear how Dominion Day was assassinated in the House of Commons 30 years ago. That's today's monologue. The OPP is now investigating Ontario Liberals who deleted their emails pertaining to the gas plant cancellations. But who's investigating the OPP for doing the exact same thing? Caledonia Crusader Gary McHale joins me in the man cave, and just wait until you hear his story. And there are no skeletons in the closet, but there may be ghosts in the cellar. A cursed winery is becoming quite the popular haunt. Well, Superman's got his Fortress of Solitude, and Bruce Wayne, he's got the Batcave, and me, the Menzoid, I've got the Menzoid Man Cave, a place to sit back, chill out, talk about the issues of the day, and I'm very happy to have back in the Man Cave the Caledonia Crusader, Gary McHale. How you doing, Gary?
Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. Now, the reason we have you here is that you have a very unique perspective on something that's been very much in the news, especially in Ontario, where you've had Ontario cabinet ministers under the McGuinty government delete and destroy emails, which is against the law. And the OPP, of course, has been brought in to do an investigation. And I guess what this kind of brings to mind the old Latin proverb translated into English, who watches the watchers? Because, Gary, you have found when it comes to the OPP and email deletion, pot meet kettle, kettle meet pot?
Absolutely. Like the OPP have now arrested me 9 times. I've been prosecuted 4 times.
And this is for
my activities in Caledonia, mostly just walking down the road with a Canadian flag. They'll put me under arrest, and sometimes they come up with some fake charge, and that allows them to keep me out of Caledonia for a few months while they try to prosecute me.
And of course, this is all about the 2-tier race-based justice system that we have in pockets of Canada right now.
Absolutely. So when you've been charged with an offense in Canada, there's a special set of laws that kick in that forces all officers to turn over their notebooks, radio transmissions, emails, text messages, because the accused person has a right to know the full scope of the investigation. And so what we discovered is at one time they prosecuted me for 30 months on this fake charge. And so during that 30 months I kept asking for disclosure. And so senior brass finally were forced to turn over their emails, but lo and behold we discovered that senior brass were deleting their emails. And so
which they are not allowed to do, correct?
Which they're not allowed to do, not only just under the Freedom of Information Act, because they have to turn that stuff over as well, but under the criminal court system. Yeah. There's a special requirement of the police to preserve the evidence of a crime, because that's what you're accusing me of, and then turn over that to the accused so that he can defend himself in court. And so instead of senior brass keeping these emails, they were deleting them.
And Gary, let me ask you this. Why do you think they were deleting these emails?
Well, because the deleted emails absolutely showed, because they forced the Crown to go to the backup and get the deleted emails, and it showed that Commissioner Fantino was ordering officers to arrest me sooner than later.
Well, that's another breach, isn't it, with the brass interfering?
Absolutely. Matter of fact, Chris Lewis, as a result of the deleted emails, I was able to go to court, and he was charged, criminally charged with obstructing justice. A judge looked at the emails that were deleted and charged him with obstructing justice. Why? Because him and a superintendent of the OPP decided to tell the officers, we know you don't have really any evidence against Gary McHale, but you will arrest him.
Well, this is interesting. Unlike some of these liberals that are on the hot seat now, they, I guess, forgot to destroy the deleted emails.
Well, that's now the whole question. Yeah. Since I was able to get the backup emails and use those in court to have Chris Lewis criminally charged, and then at that time he wasn't the commissioner. Yes. So McGuinty's response to the deputy commissioner being charged by a judge for obstructing justice was to appoint him as commissioner. And now that we're going to have this commissioner who was charged, and the emails were deleted, trying to investigate McGinty for deleting emails.
So I guess what you're alleging, this is a complete conflict of interest yet again.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think Lewis disciplined any of his officers when they were deleting emails. And did they really learn from that whole exercise? Well, the real solution was, well, you better go and delete the backups, because now that's what the government's doing. The government's doing, well, we'll delete the emails,
Yes.
but then we'll go to the backups and we'll delete them too, because why? Because we got our hands slapped a couple of years ago and people got charged by going to the backups. Of the probably 30 to 40 investigations that the OPP held against their own officers in Caledonia, every single officer was cleared of any wrongdoing. Surprise, surprise. You're not going to, you know, it doesn't matter who filed the complaint in Caledonia about an officer. Every single one of them was investigated by the OPP, and every single one of them was cleared by the OPP.
And you believe the fix is in when it comes to this investigation?
Well, you never have 100%.
Yeah.
And so, you know, Chris Lewis is beholden to McGinty. He got his job because of McGinty. He got a pay raise because of McGinty. And he's not about to say McGinty did anything wrong.
Well, Gary, you always drop a bombshell when you come by. This is just incredible. Keep up the good fight, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
I always appreciate it, Gary. And folks, keep it tuned to Menzoid Mornings. More coming up right after this.